everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Out putting the Tacoma through its paces this morning. A typical day in the life of the Tacoma for me, other than driving it to work. Not going to work today, so we're not doing that. But been to the post office this morning. That's where we started, or where this video started. I don't actually live at the post office. But it's a rainy, crappy day. We've had storms here this morning, actually, with thunder and lightning and everything in November. So I wanted to make a comment real quick on how this truck does in wet conditions. Now, might be kind of trivial, you'd think. Well, it's just wet out. I mean, why wouldn't it be fine? But I compare it to the Rebel, and I do that as far as the tires, because this is really a tire thing, and I've talked about tires before. I think the subject of Rebel tires have been beaten to death on here, but I wanted to make a comment on that because it is a huge difference in this truck with the factory stock tires that come with it as compared to the factory stock tires that they put on the Rebel. You know, with its tread pattern that matches the seats and all that stuff, which is cool, but the tires on that truck, the Rebel, suck. You know, they would spin for me even on dry pavement, let alone wet pavement. I mean, starting out, you'd have to baby the throttle because the tires will spin. Making a turn, wow. And then once you do make your turn and give it a little gas to get going, you better be straight out of that turn, because as soon as you give it gas, they start to spin and you fishtail a little bit, which, if you're not ready for it or used to it, could be a problem for you. Anyway, wanted to mention that real quick. I'm not going to spend the whole video talking about tires, but I am very happy with what comes on the Taco as far as normal driving. I mean, off-road, I haven't been off-road, so I can't really speak to that, but I will say, on the pavement, in wet conditions, good job. We're continuing on now. We're heading to the grocery store. And I had mentioned in another video about storage room in the Tacoma. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Obviously, you have the bed. My bed isn't covered, so I can't throw tons of groceries in there, especially when it's raining. But I do have to put groceries somewhere in here, right? So I'm going to hit the grocery store, and then I'm going to show you what I mean about storage room in here as far as groceries. Stay tuned. All right, honestly, that wasn't too bad. See paper towels back there. I didn't get that much this week, so it does look like there's plenty of room back there today, but I will tell you, when it's a normal day, it's tough getting stuff back there. Anyway, part of my favorite part, I guess, of going to the grocery store is eating on the way home. I don't know. We have our bottle of green nectar here. A must-get when you go to the grocery store. And a bag of mini knot dinner rolls. I am a bread freak. I love rolls. This is breakfast. Okay, well, the groceries are done, obviously, and I've had my breakfast, a little of the green nectar and some dinner rolls, and we're heading home. We're going to unload and go shoot a video on a Ford Ranger pickup truck, I think. But anyway, the second part of this video I wanted to talk about is kind of a project vehicle. Now, not a project vehicle in terms of something that needs tons of work, because I'm not really looking for something like that. In other words, I'm not looking for something that's all beat up that I'm gonna restore or anything like that. But recently, my wife, Krista, has mentioned she would like to have a Jeep Sahara, or Sahara. And I like the Jeeps. I've had a couple of Jeeps here and there. 2014 and older. I'm sorry, and newer, because they have the bigger, better motor in them. and they just feel much better on the road. They're four-wheel drive, or I would get four-wheel drive, for her to be able to drive in the winter as opposed to the truck, the Tacoma that we're in now. So I was thinking of getting something, somewhere around a 2014, probably no newer than a 2015 or 16 maybe, that I could do some things to. And assuming, of course, she agrees to that, because it would be her vehicle primarily. So anyway, I want to see what you guys think. Is that something you'd be interested in seeing? Do you like the Jeeps, particularly the Wrangler style, I'll call them, or the traditional style of Jeep? The two-door soft top. It would be a soft top. I had a excuse me, I had a hard top before, and frankly, those are pretty useless as far as removing the top yourself. You can do it, but it's very bulky and heavy enough that the bulk makes it difficult to control, especially with glass in the windows. I mean, it's not something you want to drop, or me anyway, and ding up or break the glass or whatever. So it would be a hard top. I probably would change the hard top to something else. I did that. I actually went from a hard top Sierra and put a different, I think it was a best top, I think they called it, a soft top on that Jeep, and then I sold the hard top. But I really like that much better, and it was obviously much easier to manipulate because you could do it by yourself. It just folded down. You didn't have to lift anything off and then store it. That's a pain too. They have a pretty decent footprint, and where do you put it? I had actually bought a hoist and made a lift, if you will, out of 2x4s to set it on, and then raised it up to the ceiling. But still, it was really just a pain to screw with. So I don't want that again. Anyway, wanted to know what you guys think of that. Would you like to see a Jeep on the channel? A Jeep that I would modify, do some work to. Again, nothing major. I mean, it has to be sound as far as the motor and the body, of course. I'm not looking for a body work needing, engine rebuilding kind of vehicle. But something that I could just modify aesthetically and suspension to. We definitely would lift it, put some different wheels and tires on it, probably some spacers in it to widen the stance a little bit. I really like that. Nothing crazy, but definitely noticeable. So let me know. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of that idea. Would you like to see that? As usual, appreciate you guys watching. Please click subscribe if you haven't before. Don't forget to leave that comment. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a good day. Bye.
Wow.